This is why Trevor Noah is good at winning arguments. When Trevor Noah was in grade school, he spent a lot of time at his mom's office every day after school. He learned a great deal about business correspondence. At the time, he and his mom would regularly spar like lawyers, debating over loopholes and technicalities. Eventually, his quick mind frustrated his mom in these arguments. She devised a clever way to handle him. She started writing him letters. That way she could make her points and there would be no verbal sparring back and forth. Sometimes Trevor would come back home to find an envelope slipped under the door by his landlord. Dear Trevor, children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Colossians 3:20. There are certain things I expect from you as my child and as a young man. You need to clean your room. You need to keep the house clean. You need to look after your school uniform. Please, my child, I ask you to respect my rules, so that I may also respect you. I ask you now, please go and do the dishes and do the weeds in the garden. Yours sincerely, Mom. Trevor would respond by doing his chores. If he had anything to say, he would write back. To whom it may concern. Dear Mom, I have received your correspondence earlier. I'm delighted to say that I am ahead of schedule on the dishes and I will continue to wash them in an hour or so. Please note that the garden is wet and so I cannot do the weeds at this time. But please be assured this task will be completed by the end of the weekend. Also, I completely agree with what you are saying with regard to my respect levels, and I will maintain my room to a satisfactory standard. Yours sincerely, Trevor. Then there were the less polite letters when Trevor would get into trouble at school. Dear Trevor, foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child. The rod of discipline will remove it far from him. Proverbs 22:15. Your school marks this term has been very disappointing, and your behavior in class continues to be disruptive and disrespectful. It is clear from your actions that you do not respect me. You do not respect your teachers. Learn to respect the women in your life. The way you treat me and the way you treat your teachers will be the way you treat other women in the world. Learn to buck that trend now, and you will be a better man because of it. Because of your behavior, I'm grounding you for 1 week. There will be no television and no video games. Yours sincerely, Mom. Trevor would find this to be unfair and so he would confront his mom. Can I speak to you about this? His mom would say, no. If you want to reply, you have to write a letter. Trevor would go to his room, get out a pen and paper, sit at his little desk and go after her arguments one by one. To whom it may concern. Dear Mom. First of all, this has been a particularly tough time in school. And for you to say that my marks are bad is extremely unfair, especially considering the fact that you yourself were not very good in school. And I am, after all, a product of yours. And so in part you are to blame, because if you were not good in school, why would I be good in school? Because genetically, we are the same. Gran always talks about how naughty you were. So obviously my naughtiness comes from you. So I don't think it is right or just for you to say any of this. Yours sincerely, Trevor. Trevor would bring her the letter and stand there while she read it. Rubbish, she would say. And when she would try to launch into him, he would say, no, you have to write a letter. It is safe to say, all this prepared Trevor Noah for the future, to win arguments on the big stage with charisma.